So I guess the first PBL weekly here of 2020. For those that don't know, I guess last year PMAC and I would just get on and just kind of cover what our feelings from the week and shout out some players that we thought did well and maybe some surprises and things like that. I think year two, I was only there for a couple hours, but I feel like year two ran logistically smoother. The kids were just a lot more dialed in, and I think the level of play of box lacrosse play improved just across the board. It was cool to see the goalie play. We have real box goalies this year. So goalie play was better, and we saw that in the scores were a lot lower. It wasn't 19-18. It was single digits, 8-7, that kind of thing. So in order of my screen up here anyway, Midbow, you can maybe any, opening thoughts as far as your feeling of week one.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It was cool to see that a lot of the stuff we kind of implemented last year wasn't forgotten, even though it's been, a long and kind of weird 12 months. Really cool to see our guys kind of coaching each other up, kind of going through different points of emphasis, remembering a lot of the things we talked about, so we didn't have to cover the absolute basics. And that allowed us to kind of get into some finer details or kind of focus on a little bit more, kind of taking that next step, of their kind of box IQ. We did a lot of points of emphasis on our transition game, as well as kind of just some little things kind of late in shot clocks to give us an advantage, because we didn't have to teach people how to play a two-man game. So I really was pumped about that. And then
kind of next then, leading into the one team that did beat the Spiders, JP, the Sundogs, first-year head coach. How did it feel to be behind the bench?
Felt good. I got a great group of guys that, more so just got to send out onto the field rather than coach, which is great. Kind of like you talked about, big transition from first year to the next year. We got a lot less guys trying to take full field dodges from the midline they're out in the field, and now they're actually setting picks and using each other and getting deep inside and trying to just get the ball to the net, playing more box lacrosse, which is awesome to see. We got a great group of guys on the field, and we were missing probably 25% of our roster last weekend, so pretty excited to see what we can do this upcoming weekend, given that we went 2-1 with pretty short-handed team. All the credit goes to the guys that were there last weekend, though. They grinded for 3 tough games and really showed out, which was awesome to see. So
your team just not bought into this league, or what do you think the lack of attendance is? Because that's got to be a concern.
We got 2 guys coming off IR, so they'll be coming back after some good rest, nice and healthy, ready to go. And we got another guy looking to further his future in college and play lacrosse. So I'm all about the next step. So take what you need to do to get to where you want to go. So that's what it takes.
The kid you're talking about, doesn't he hate you? And you still drafted him?
Allegedly.
Okay.
We worked it out. We had some behind the scenes meetings and conversations, and I think we're on the right page where we kind of squashed the beef, and I think we're good to go coming into Sunday.
So
he's the beef. Put it on a t-shirt.
He's not being a cancer and just keeping guys away from your team and from your locker room, and that has nothing to do with the lack of attendance. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think he's got the right mindset. I think he's good to go. He hasn't been there yet, so I guess I can't say for sure. He'll have to prove himself come Sunday, but I have utmost confidence in this guy to really lead the team and be a big threat on the field.
Ted had a great comment about you during draft night. You know a lot about the field game. Do you know anything about the box game?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Midbow seems to do pretty well at it, and look at him.
Just quick correction. Ted was not at the draft.
Oh, sorry.
Cinnamon Randolph was at the draft.
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Sorry, you weren't wearing your sunglasses, so I'm kind of thrown
I
off
don't
right
own
now.
any sunglasses. That's cinnamon.
Well, I thought Cinnamon was gonna be here tonight, and now it's you guys look a lot
Got
alike.
it.
I'm just kind of, you threw me in kind of a mind crunch here. Yeah.
So kind of leads me into the Jokers. So a lot of trash talk about the quote unquote schism in the locker room of the Sundogs, but the Jokers had high hopes and they dropped the first game, I believe, right? And they had
it was a 9 a.m. game. 9 a.m. game. Boys still were waking up.
Coming out hot, and then got goose egged by the Spiders. So was that a nice rebound on the day? But there was a lot of build up for the Jokers this season, and then to start with the loss, how were the guys feeling?
It was tough, and you saw them the rest of the day. We ended up 2-1. Andrew Williams, I'm sure he got there at 7 a.m. and started warming up and doing a dynamic stretch and getting mentally focused. He's a goalie. He's a goalie's goalie. So he was ready to go. Was my team ready to go at 9 a.m.? No. But we'll fix that. We'll be ready to go. If we get another 9 a.m. game, later in the season. So I'm not worried about it. I have no concerns.
Goltz, anything to add? You're kind of the last guy here. A lot has been said. Tough first day, but
couldn't have gotten worse.
Just ask the Spiders. I think it's a rite of passage. Champions only go 0-3 to start the year. So, what are you looking to do?
Game plan? Is that part of the Venom game
plan?
I
don't know about any of that. I definitely wouldn't say that's part of the game plan. I know we wanted to talk about things that were surprising. I was a little surprised that my team came out and didn't score any goals in the first game at all. I think we scored 6, maybe 8 goals in total in 3 games. I know I'm supposed to pump my team's tires, but that's just brutal. But we do have Caden Peterson, the social media warrior here, promises a comeback for the Venom. So if anyone can get people going, Caden's a guy that can really get people going. So
are there going to be any adjustments? I hear a lot of complaining
major
from the Venom
adjustments
side.
here. I'm not going to tell you my
adjustments.
adjustments. Why would I tell you my adjustments?
I was just wondering because there's a lot of complaining.
I stay composed. Like I know what's coming. I know what needs to be fixed. We're going to go and do it. You see snakes freaking out in the wild? No, they're calm. They keep their cool. They're just waiting. They're ready to strike. We lay low, you bite, or you step and we bite. That's it. Boom.
Any surprise players, Midbow? Any surprise players on your team this year or this week?
Yeah, big one is Griffin Mott. So kind of
grinder of the week. Grinder of the week.
Grinder.
You can set it in stone. Griffin gets grinder of the week. He's got. I think every other team is a fan of Griff. One of the youngest players in the league, and he's a grinder.
Dude's a beauty. I thought our guys were honestly going to carry him off on their shoulders after our last game. He was all over the place. Kind of took him late. I had him this summer, so it was kind of one of those, we'll see what he can do, and he really impressed. He's about a head and a half shorter than everyone else on the floor, and he got blown up a couple times, bounced right back up, had a couple good shots on goal. I think he had 2 or 3 assists, drew a penalty or 2, and he just literally did not get tired. Up and down the floor, did whatever he needed to do, picked up the loose balls, finished the plays. The guy was a beauty. Everyone on our team, huge respect, and it was honestly kind of inspirational to a lot of them. Seeing this kid, he's a couple years younger, he's a little bit smaller than everyone else, and he's still getting after it.
JP, any surprise players on the Sundogs?
Honestly, no big surprises, but because one guy that stood out, Axel Esco, played with us last year, and just like last year, like this year, he's just kind of standing in the net like a brick wall, and he's leading the team as the alpha dog of the pack, so to speak. No one really did anything to make themselves stand apart from everybody else, which I think is great. We played as a unit. We played with all 9 or 10 guys that we had, and just run with that pack mentality, you know, never giving up on each other, never giving up on the game, and relying on each other to always get ground balls, always get goals. Because with box, you got to rely on your teammates to get open and get a look, and we had those looks all day long. So we have Axel standing in the net, standing strong all day long. I think we're good to go with the boys standing behind them loud and proud.
PMAC, any surprise players on the Jokers?
You know, I don't know if you'd call him a surprise, but you know, little Gilbert, you know, there's a bloodline there. Older Gilbert was a awesome Joker last year, and Gilbert kind of opened up the scoring for us. You know, it was already brought up. We were snake bitten in the goal column early in the day, but Gilbert got our first one, and that kind of opened up the floodgates for us. Yeah, whatever you want to say, you know. So Gilly, and then you know, but it's not really a surprise. He's a top 3 round pick. And then you know, Parker Hill, locker room guy. Again, probably not a surprise player. He was a first rounder, brings the energy, and I think he gets the award of the most broken sticks week 1.
And at Goltz, I know you touched on Tate Rasnacco, kind of doing everything for you, maybe committing to defense. Anybody else on your team that surprised you, maybe did something that you didn't expect them to do, or, you know, had a decent performance despite maybe the team not having a performance that you liked?
Yeah, I really think it was really Tate was kind of really the one that really stuck out for me. I didn't really see a whole lot out of anyone else. I will say at the end of the third game, Simonson was definitely doing anything and everything he could to try to get the ball in the back of the net. He was struggling, but he was definitely out there sacrificing the body, diving across the crease, soaking hits late, trying to get the ball on cage. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to get it in the back of the net, but Simon was definitely selling out.
Defensive player of the week, is there any argument to Andrew Williams of the Spiders pitching 2 shutouts in 3 games?
I don't even think we need to talk about this one. Let's move it on as expected.
An animal. Really like the way he owns the
So
net.
defensive player of the week, Andrew Williams, might be a guy that wins multiple if he keeps playing the way he's playing. But I will have to say, as we move into offensive player of the week, someone that stuck out to me was the number 1 overall pick, Chuck Altier, but more for his offense than I would have expected. JP, any thoughts on that?
That's the thing about Chuck. You look at him, you say, oh, he's a D-mid lefty, but as soon as that kid gets into game mode, he's grinding for every ball. He's going to the net no matter what. He's not afraid to share it, throw out an assist, kind of go to the net, kind of throw his body on the line, get tight into the crease. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but that's why I picked him. I'm not surprised by his performance. I'm not surprised by his ability to lock it down on defense and then also kind of run the show on offense. But, you know, Chuck does a great job of sharing the ball with everybody else, getting all the other guys involved. You know, there's 5 guys on the field at a time for a reason, 4 field players. So, you know, he does a good job bringing up the rest of his teammates, and that's another big reason why that kid went first overall. So
the other one that stood out to me, I guess, I don't know if you can consider a face-off guy an offensive player of the week, but Dylan Kendrick on the Spiders was by far and away the best face-off guy, which was leading to offense for himself and for the Spiders. I mean, now you have the best face-off guy and the best goalie in the league. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you really can consider him offense because he maybe didn't do all the scoring, but he just dominated possession time for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he caused problems for us possession-wise. Like they're making it, you know, taking it, and then, you know, that I ran into that, both of those players causing issues for us.
So does that mean that maybe we should come up with a new category, the Trevor Baptiste Best Player on the Field Award?
Good. That goes to Dylan Kendrick, the Trevor Baptiste first ever inaugural award goes to Dylan Kendrick. Yeah, so offensive player then, is it Chuck? Is there any other names we need to throw in the hat here?
Yeah, no, let's go with Chuck. Yeah, we ran into Chuck and he was causing problems for our defense. He's just so dang fast.
Yeah,
Right.
his change of speed is incredible. He's just walking up the field and then just takes off. He's full speed in one step.
Yeah, he's got that little yo-yo move where he's like in, out, in. It's pretty impressive. So I guess to kind of close here, would love to hear sort of key things moving forward into week 2 for each individual team. What's one thing you guys want to see for next week that your teams can improve upon and hopefully take the next step. So I don't care who goes first. Emac, go first.
My team, we're going to continue to make adjustments, but I'm really excited to hear what Goltz has to say.
I guess that kind of goes to me here.
It sounds like everybody is pretty complacent with their 2-1 record after week 1. No championships have ever been won on week 1, so you might have them where you want them, Goltz.
But yeah, the adjustments, again, I think you guys are trying to trick me into telling you my game plan, and I'm not going to fall for it. I got my adjustments. I know what needs to be done. I'm looking for more balls in the back of the other team's net. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, there's going to be no adjustments. I mean, what a better position to be in than 0-6, the 4 seed going into the playoffs. Everybody makes playoffs. You just got to win one then. You just got to win one, then you got to win one more. Like, and that's just it's one game playoff every time. And how excited and lazy is the 1 seed going to be if you just kind of tank this week? I think I know Goltz's game plan. He's not going to say it, but I'm going to be interested to see how people treat the Venom this week. JP, Sundogs takeaways, kind of leading into next week and things you're looking for.
Biggest issue last week, and I think we got a lot of shots on net, kept the scores against us pretty low. But a lot of our shots weren't dropping, hit a lot of pipes, hit a lot of the goalie's chest. So we just gotta look for better scoring opportunities, just get the ball in the back of the net, and then, like I said, we're getting a 25% increase in our roster size come Sunday. So we're basically going to have a whole new team. I think our biggest issue was, we come off a great win, game 1, going to game 2, we're a little tired, not really sure what's coming, kind of get punched in the mouth a little bit. And then game 3, same deal. I had to wake up a little bit and dig deep and, use the rest of the tank. But we're bringing back, I think, 4 guys that are all going to be well rested, all guys that are going to be key players, and that's just going to lead to more shots, more production, and just better performance all around from the Dogs. So,
Midbow,
what do you got? You wanted to jump in there, Midbow.
We'll leave it alone. Yeah, so sounds a little counterintuitive, but I want to see more turnovers from our guys this week. And what I mean by that is I'd like us to kind of open up the offense a little bit more, try some things that may be a little uncomfortable, a little bit risky. Way too many just fundamental overhand shots. Want to see more backhands behind the backs, around the world, things like that. We've got the camera crew there. We got to fill up the highlights. So I'd like to see our guys kind of take this as a chance to play a little bit faster than they're maybe comfortable with. That way, come championship weekend, those passes are going to start to connect. And we know we're going to win the possession advantage because our goalie and faceoff play is significantly better than everyone else's. So we will we'll kind of take our chances and play the odds.
I think that'll wrap up PBL Weekly number 1. All right, gentlemen, thanks for being on, and we will see you on Sunday.